I am still not over this Halloween tabletop decor that I made with this arch. I was able to create such a fun Halloween installation, and I just know that I needed to make something equally cool or cooler for holidays 2024. This is what the base of that Halloween tablescape is. It's actually a frame made out of EMT conduit and a product called Maker Pipe. This can be customized to fit any table that you could have, and I have a whole tutorial video on that, which is a project for another day. Today, we are figuring out how we want to decorate this for the holiday season in lieu of maybe a tree or something like that I would normally put in my dining room, which is what brought us to Midjourney's new editor. Midjourney is an AI program. I use it a ton. If you follow my blog, you see a lot of images that are there based out of Midjourney. It's great for inspiration and ideas, but they introduced a new editor, and we are going to be using that today to plan our holiday decor for our dining room. To the Midjourney website where we can access this editor feature. It is rolling out on a tiered level depending on your subscription type to Midjourney, but it is probably going to be available to everybody if it's not already by the time you're watching this. We have this cool built-in brush, and what we're doing is we're telling the AI, hey, this is a picture that we want, and this area that we're highlighting, that is what we want changed and edited. And because I was able to get a picture with the base garland on here, we have a good reference and scale for the AI to use as a base frame. And then now we go ahead and add our text at the top and be like, hey, AI, this is what we're loosely thinking of. I like to start general and fairly broad at the beginning, and then you can get more detailed as you go. Include things like color palettes, elements that you're looking for, and kind of think of it like you're describing it to somebody who can't see really well. You know, what are the elements that are in there that it's important that you want the AI to have and include. Obviously, it might not get it 100%, but it's good to just start practicing getting all of that context and detail in there. Now we're going to go ahead and hit submit, and you can see it's rendering off to the right. And this does take a little bit of time, and I will say not all of the pictures load all the time, but you know what, that's okay. It's AI, and if this is the worst it's ever going to be, it's only going to get better from here. As far as a first pass goes, not bad, but one of the great things about Midjourney is you have the ability to upload images and use them as a style reference, as an image reference, and as a character reference. I figured magnolias were part of my design requirements, and that's probably a weird thing for it to think about for Christmas because magnolias are not usually the flower of choice. Usually that's a poinsettia, but you know what? The images came out pretty good. They do look quite similar to what the uploaded image was. And I love that this feature is available in the editor off the bat, because what we can do here is play with it as a character reference, a style reference, an image reference. And it is that you're going to just play with the numbers and keep re-rolling and seeing if one takes off better than the other. And then you're going to slowly add to your prompt, add to your image references, and build up your prompt. I always recommend starting super simple and then getting more detailed and complex as you go on, and you can tweak and see what you need. Now here we're in the situation where we've been playing with both the style reference, or what's sometimes referred to as sref, and the image reference. And you know, again, it's going to depend on what you like, but I'm just pulling random pictures off the internet, except for those magnolias. I did buy them earlier this year because I saw them and I love them. You can see here that I've uploaded an additional image. This is a garland on a mantle, I'm assuming, or a shelf somewhere, and it's got more of the golds and a little bit of copper or maybe chocolate in there. So that's going to add even more context for the AI to use and be like, okay, I see what she wants. We want those colors brought in. We want those textures. We want more flowers. Let's see how it does. You know, not the most realistic perfection, but we're getting closer and closer to the theme if we can get the images to load. But you can get a good sense of what we're looking at here. Not bad, but we're going to keep building up our concept. Now, something in Midjourney you can do is add stylize and then a number between 1 and 1,000. And there's a lot of little codes like these that you got to just develop over time your knowledge on. But as a quick point of reference, style values in Midjourney, your default is usually about 100. The cap is 1,000. And when you adjust the style value, You're adjusting essentially how pretty, how beautiful something is. That tends to be the biggest factor when changing the stylized value. Fun fact though, when you're adding stylized values and you're bumping it up, if you were using like your fast hours or something, my experience, I believe that it consumes more fast hours the higher the stylized value, but I don't know for sure. We're getting closer, so you can see I've added another prompt at the top. This is an actual room with the colors and the looks that we're going for, or at least closer. So now Midjourney has 3 images that it can reference and be like, okay, let's see what she wants. What is she looking for? And we're getting closer, but we're having a hard time getting it looking a little bit more realistic. So that's why you see me here playing with the different settings. Do we want this on a style reference? Do we want this as an image reference? And I wish I could tell you, hey, it's use XYZ all the time, but I have found that it's good to play with them because you never know what the combinations that you're using are going to be, whether you have 2 pictures or 6 pictures. It really just depends. So the best advice I can give you is just be patient and keep trying here. Now you can see as I'm rendering through these pictures here, we're getting closer, we're getting a little bit more full. We're certainly seeing an improvement from what we started with that was very sparse, and I think that's because of all of the pictures that we've added. Everything we're adding is getting denser, more decorated. So now we can help and give it some additional context, like we want luxurious designer ribbon, or whatever elements we can add from the text to make sure we clarify for the AI, really, hey, this is what we're looking for. We want more of this. If you're not a big prompter, Q2 might not make a big difference. I've started playing with it more. I like it. I think it helps. It makes a difference. And it's exactly what you would think. Q2, quality 2. So when you have a lot of details and textures, I find that adding Q2 helps. But again, I think if you're on fast hours or you're limited with how many generations you can make, it might burn through there more. We're also adding an additional generation that you can see running with stylized 750. So look at that, taking it up even more. We're getting more realistic, concept, but still closer to what we want. And while not everything loads as quickly as we like, we're definitely getting closer. We've got the color palette down. It's really just about getting those final details in there and trying to play with the prompt. If you're not familiar with prompting, a tip that I have, regardless if you're using Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, any of the AI models right now that turn text into image, whatever you put at the front of the prompt, whatever you're starting the prompt with, those are usually considered the key elements. So the AI typically takes those elements more seriously and more weighted because it's at the front of the prompt. It's more demanding. Not demanding, what is the word? It's more like that's the focus that we want. We want those. So if it's a super important element, we need to make sure that that gets put at the front of the prompt. Now you can see here, I've switched out my images. I've added more mantle looks so that I have more complete rooms in them. We're still getting some pretty good images here. And that's the joy of this tool. You can just keep playing and tweaking and testing different things. And Pinterest is a great resource for this. You just need to get, maybe the colors you're looking for or something that's close to what you're looking for. And you can pull that image in as a reference so the AI can be like, yes, I see this is what you want. So the better images you can provide it, the closer it's going to be to what you want in theory. You can see here we're tweaking the prompt, especially changing the front or the start of the prompt. You can see that we've bumped up our stylized value from 750 to 1,000 and got our Q2 up pretty high. So we're going to be seeing some good results, or at least some better results from that. But I think looking at what we have here, these are still pretty great. And I think a lot of people would be happy with this, especially if you're just doing concept art, like where you're just trying to be like, will this work in my living room? Will this work in my dining room? This is not bad at all. Like I would be very happy with this as a mock-up of my space. And, keep in mind, I still have that's my artwork in the background. That's my table. That's my chairs. That's exactly the room. And because I put that garland in, the AI really gets the point of scale here. So what we're doing here, if you can't tell, is we're upscaling these images, we're downloading them, and really that just means that we can re-upload them or repurpose them in the new retexture tool. And what retexturing it is it's honestly what it sounds like. You're taking an image and you're retexturing it to be different, reworked. So that's the same image, and we put the same prompt in with the same, like the reference images. And now it's reworking my whole dining room. So obviously not my table, that's my chair. That's the original picture here that we're working with. We're taking the same prompt. We removed all of the images, but retexturing helps you rework the space. And I really love this feature, especially if you're like, I'm going to completely redesign my living room. Like it'll keep the base bones of your room or your whatever you're working with, but it retextures it so you can go from, you know, I want to see what this looks like as mid-century modern to I want to see what this looks like as a spaceship, you know, futuristic versus I want to see what this looks like rustic. So we've got a few different things queued up here. You can see we still have our stylized value bumped up to the max because especially with the retexture, we want to see the prettiest, the best version that we can come up with, right? Like that's the best case scenario, the finished look. As you're playing with it, you might be like, you know, I don't think I like these colors. I want to change. Well, this is how you do it. This is how you go about doing it. And I love this retexture feature because look, it's completely transformed my dining room. So if I wanted to make this into a major renovation, I mean, it would be great to be able to take this to a contractor and be like, hey, look, this is what I want. I want, you know, wood ceiling details put in. I want this color paint. I like the way this window got framed, you know, whatever that may be. Like, look how much it's changed. But if you wanted to get crazy, you could add things like chaos value. So you can see I added -- chaos 15, and we've also added -- weird. Chaos adds a random level to it. It's kind of giving the AI flexibility with its prompting where you're like, yeah, I want it to look like what I described, but go a little crazy. You have a little bit of flexibility. And I think that also goes up to 1,000. Weird, I think goes up to 3,000 if I recall correctly. And weird is just that. It makes it weirder sometimes good, sometimes bad. Sometimes you look at it and go, what in the world? But look at how the chaos changed the room or the weird changed the color palette. You know, playing with little things like that might give you terrible results. It might give you amazing results. Like I would have never picked that color scheme with the yellow and the white or the yellow, gold and the white. But here we are. You know, if you're just brainstorming ideas, that's pretty cool. I don't know how I would have prompted for some of these, but that's still really cool. Now, obviously you get some lousy images and that's just part of the random number generator. You get what you get. But the more you bump up the weird, you know, the crazier it's going to get. And if you're just like, I don't know, what would this space look like? This is a great idea generator tool for that. So while we're scrolling through some of these other results as we bumped up the weird, I hope you guys have found that this Midjourney editor tool has been super helpful for planning. And if you want to see how we create the actual tabletop arch that we're making, because it's happening, like this, maybe not exactly this exact one, but I mean, how beautiful is that as a concept piece? I have it in the works. There's going to be a video uploading on that soon. And the fun thing I get to talk about when we're having dinner is, yeah, I had a loose idea of what I wanted and I was able to use AI with this dining room picture, with this garland, and come up with something cool, something unique. And I think that's going to be a fun way for people to decorate and create new experiences for their home, whether it's for holidays, bedrooms, just general makeover. They're tired of the need a seasonal change, whatever it is. AI is here to help, and I think that's just a super cool tool. If you guys want to see more with Midjourney editor creating anything like that, let me know in the comment section down below, especially if you have any special requests. In the meantime, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out in seeing how this AI concept comes to life in my dining room this holiday season. I've already started on it, and guys, it is super cool and beautiful, and I think you're going to love it. Whew, that was a bit of a long one, but I hope you guys learned a little bit about the Midjourney editor and what you can use it for, and took away a few tips and tricks in case you want to try it yourself. Okay, friends, well, I've got some decorating to do. Thanks for hanging out with me today. My name's Alessandra. Happy holidays.